Hey everyone, today I'll be turning this coffee bean sack into framed hanging wall art using pocket holes. There are many ways to make a frame, but pocket holes are simple, fast, and convenient if you don't have a lot of woodworking tools. All you need is a pocket hole jig like this Masca M1. Thank you to Masca Tools for generously providing this pocket hole jig for my friend today. I began by measuring to determine how long I wanted to make the inner frame. Next, I cut the inner frame pieces to length and adjusted the pocket hole jig to match the material thickness. Here I used a scrap piece of the frame material and the thickness gauge. From there I used that measurement to set the depth of the jig. Next I adjusted the clamp to hold the pieces tightly. Then I was ready to insert the depth gauge, which sets the bit at the appropriate depth based on your material thickness. I tightened the collar stop on the bit and it was ready to drill. You can use the jig with or without a vacuum. I clamped, glued, and screwed the frame together before attaching the jute. I was careful to pull the jute tightly and evenly before stapling it in place. The corners were cut at 45s and I used a small amount of America's favorite glue. At this stage, the inner frame was looking pretty cool and all nice and tight. The next steps were to cut and mill the outer frame pieces. For this I used Western red cedar, which contrasts nicely with the coffee bag. The jig made quick work of drilling pocket holes into the angled pieces. More gluing, clamping, and screwing was required before giving the piece a final sanding. So one thing I forgot to do before I glued and screwed the frame together was to put a couple pocket holes facing inwards to hold the inner frame in place. So I can't really fit it into the pocket hole jig now that it's assembled, but I can disassemble the pocket hole jig, add a little plate to the bottom, and I'll be able to clamp it right to the frame and finish drilling those pocket holes. The bottom plate adds a lip to catch the edge of the material it is clamped to. I sanded with the grain so none of the sanding marks would show when finished. I applied one coat of epoxy resin to bring out all the color variations in the cedar, and it leaves a nice high gloss shine which contrasts nicely with the jute. A few passes of the torch popped any air bubbles that rose to the surface. After curing for 24 hours, it was ready to assemble, and voila! Oh yeah, I wired the back like a fancy piece of artwork to make it easier to hang. And here's the end result. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's a little rough, it's kind of a rustic piece of artwork, but it combines two of my favorite things, coffee and woodworking. Of course, there's more than one way to make a wooden frame, but hopefully this gave you an idea of how quick and easy it can be. Let me know what you think below. Is it too shiny? Not shiny enough? If you're interested in picking up one of these Masca pocket hole jigs for yourself, be sure to check out the link below. And thanks for watching. Of course, there's more than one way to make a wooden frame, but hopefully this gave you an idea of how quick and easy it can be.